Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we'll be reacting to Octo, another video of Octo. Shout out to Octo. 31 cards that would break Clash Royale. Let's get into it. Sub to me, sub to Dogsy, trying to grow a fan base, you know what I mean? Sub to me on Twitch, follow and all that shit, type shit, Twitter.
Royale fans have come up with some absolutely insane card ideas over the years. What if we added a
Let's
submarine that snipes troops from the river, a bridge master that shuts down an entire lane, or, you know, an ice queen who summons a full-blown snowstorm? Stick with me, because the cards you're about to see are some of the most game-breaking ideas ever imagined. Number 1.
This motherfucker puts in the most, like crazy Rule 34, fan art, so.
Flying Goblin. We're tired of the
Flying Goblin.
Flying Machine plus Royal Recruits combo. It's effective, but stale. So what if we had something new to pair them with?
Let's hear it!
Meet the Flying Goblin, a 4-cost splash damage air unit that nukes both.
You'll never catch me, Spider-Man. I am the notorious Green Goblin.
Both ground and sky.
That's literally
basically
Green Goblin.
Baby Dragon and
That's
Bomber.
literally
combined.
Green Goblin.
Would it be balanced? Probably not, but it would be
Coward.
fun.
Coward.
Number 2, the Bridge Master. Bridge Master would be the
This
first
motherfucker, he just told about this. This guy sounds broken.
ever building type champion. It costs 3 elixir and comes with a 1 elixir ability. Place it near the bridge and it destroys the bridge for a few seconds, forcing your opponent's push to switch lanes. This would be
Okay,
insane
but what does he do besides his ability? Does he attack?
against decks like Royal Recruits,
that's
where
way too
split
much,
lane
yeah.
pressure is everything. That said, I'm not sure about the 3 elixir price tag. If the ability
Yeah.
already costs 1, the base card should drop to 2 or even 1, so the
No.
total is 2 to 3 elixir. That elixir still gives your opponent free tempo, but you gain time to react, set up a defense, and maybe even get a juicy little rocket log or some arrows. This concept comes from one of my favorite creators, Me Graphics, and we'll feature several of his
Shout
ideas
out to Me
today.
Graphics.
However, I've gotta shout out a similar idea from another creator, that being Mortiro, and honestly, it's just as cool. His idea was a simple wall card. Like the Bridge Master, it can be placed at the bridge to block one lane and force redirection, but unlike the Bridge Master, the wall can also be used as a distraction building on defense, soaking up hits or pulling ground troops. And while it is solid against most
That's an Archer Queen, bud. That would be way too broken. But cool concept. Maybe something... I don't know. Maybe just something that blocks it. Like, that if it has that much health, fuck no, man. You know what I mean?
pushes, it's not unstoppable. Air troops could simply fly over it, and certain cards like Royal Ghost could just walk right on through. Still, it opens up a ton of
Yeah.
strategic depth, especially for decks that struggle with split pushes or need better control tools. I really like this idea. It's flexible, reactive, and can bring some much-needed variety to building choices in Clash Royale. But if you think that was wild, well, just wait. By the end of this video, we'll be diving into a full
What?
Age of War game mode, a Punch-Out style minigame, and even some prehistoric goblins riding raptors. Yeah, things are about to get crazy. Number 3. Anti-spell. Imagine placing a spell that blocks other spells. No fireball on your Royal Hogs, no arrows for your Skeleton Barrel, no log wiping out your Goblin Barrel. And that is what the anti-spell does, a 3 elixir spell that makes your push untouchable. On paper, it kinda sounds completely broken, and honestly, in the right hands, it probably would.
You can boys, imagine if you just fucking gobble a barrel and you're like, no, I'm gonna log this, and this motherfucker puts down an anti-spell, or you goblin gang at bridge, motherfucker, you can't do anything, you have to place a true. That's crazy. Or rocket in the back, you rocket a fucking witch or some shit. Or a Sparky. Bro, a Sparky would benefit so much from this card. That's what the Sparky Evo should be.
But here's
can't
the
be
catch.
reset.
If your opponent simply waits or doesn't use a spell at all, you just wasted 3 elixir for nothing. So maybe it's not as overpowered as it seems.
No,
One way
no.
to balance this could be to limit it
That is broken. That is broken. Octo, you're tweaking.
to your side of the arena only, kind of like a temporary shield zone. Either way, this spell would completely change the way we think about interactions. And let's be real, watching a Goblin Barrel survive a log, that just would be hilarious. However, there's also a similar idea called the Magic Shield, and it might be even crazier. Instead of just blocking spells, this one protects everything. Your troops, your tower, well, everything. And while it's definitely in the same family as Anti-Spell, it has its own twist. And honestly,
Okay.
it looks kinda cool. And you know what's even cooler than Magic Shield? You hitting that subscribe button. I would love you forever if you do. No, seriously.
That was way uncomfortable, bro. Just, Unk, listen, do not include that again.
Number 4. Igloo. The Igloo would be a 3-elixir epic
Ice
building that
spirits.
spawns ice spirits
Yeah,
in 5
I knew
seconds.
it.
Think of it like a frozen version of the furnace. Since Ice Spirit is already one of the most popular cycle cards in Clash
Chat, that would be broken, lining that shit in the back, and it's just, that would be the best defense card in the game.
Royale, building a defensive structure around it just makes sense. It would be fast-paced, cycle-friendly, and amazing for control, freezing pushes, buying time, and keeping that pressure going. Plus, imagine double igloos in double elixir. Your opponent would not be able to move. This concept comes from the brilliant Mii graphics, and I genuinely love how clean and useful it feels. But the next 2 ideas from him, they're not just clever, they are completely insane. Number 5. Bats Cave. This one is long overdue. It's a 4-elixir epic building that spawns bats every 4 seconds, finally giving us an air-based spawner to match the
What, like Tombstone?
ground-heavy hut family. With Bats Cave, we can finally see air control decks become a real archetype, chipping from above, swarming from behind, and punishing decks that ignore air. Plus, it could synergize perfectly with cards like Minions, Balloon, or Mega Minion, forcing out early spell value. It's simple, it's smart, and honestly, it feels like something that
I actually wouldn't mind this. I wouldn't mind this.
should already exist, and now one of the most creative concepts ever imagined. A card that doesn't walk, doesn't fly, it swims. Number 6. Submarine. The submarine is a concept so unique, it genuinely feels like something that could reinvent how Clash Royale works. It's a troop designed to control the water, a part of the arena that's been visually present for years but never really used in gameplay. Until now. Place it near the center and it submerges, becoming untargetable, just like Royal Ghost.
That
While
would be
underwater, it loses
sick.
HP over time to stay balanced. Once surfaced, it fires mini rockets with long range, kind of like a stealthier Expo or Prince
And chat, Zap would do ×2 damage to it, like a lightning spell. Oh! We cooking.
Princess that can hit both air and ground. You control when it dives or resurfaces, using a 1-elixir ability, adding an extra layer of timing and mind games. And since it can only patrol one lane, depending on where you place it, positioning becomes everything. It's part stealth, part siege, and 100% disruptive. Of course, not every arena has a river, so in these maps, water cards like Submarine would be banned, which actually opens the door for even more gameplay variety. Imagine having river-only cards, or even full water archetypes.
No, chat, that looks sick.
A tsunami spell that pushes everything back, a wave rider troop that surfs the bridge. The Submarine wouldn't just be a card.
What? What the fuck are these?
It would be the first step toward a whole new era of Clash Royale. But if you think a submarine sounds insane, just wait. Things are only gonna get wilder from here. Number 7. Bombs and traps. What if you could place a bomb anywhere on your side of the arena, completely invisible to your opponent? Just like in Clash of Clans, your opponent wouldn't even
Motherfucker turn into Yu-Gi-Oh out here, bro.
know it's there until it's too late. Imagine this, you're sitting on full elixir doing nothing. Your opponent thinks you're leaking. But behind those scenes, you're quietly planting bombs all over.
Nah, because you have to introduce many. Look, chat, listen to this take. So you'd introduce more. So you do like the air things from Clash Clans, and you do the normal bombs or the giant bombs. But instead of it not being invisible, it would say that you've used the elixir, so they know there's a bomb somewhere, but they still wouldn't know where it was.
Your side of the arena. It would completely change how players think about tempo, timing, and prediction. Honestly, it could even discourage players from leaking elixir, rewarding fast reactions and early plays instead of waiting. But it gets even better, because if we're adding bombs, why not spring traps? Picture this, your opponent drops a hog rider ready to slam into your tower, but instead, boing. I mean, of course, it wouldn't work on heavy tanks like Golem or P.E.K.K.A, they're way too big to budge, but for annoying pressure cards like Hog Rider, Battle Ram, or even Ram Rider, a spring trap would be the perfect way to punish obvious bridge spam.
Chat, I would make it 2 elixir, but here's the just. It doesn't fully eliminate them. It just pushes them back to half of their enemy on half of their side.
And reward smart placement. And let's be honest, watching a Hog Rider get launched out of the arena, that is peak Clash content.
That is.
Number 8. Ice Wizard Tower. Can I be honest with you for a second? I love Wizard. It's probably the best defensive card in the game, not to mention that beautiful goatee. No matter what matchup you're in, you always get value for just 3 elixir. That's why I think an Ice Wizard Tower would be the perfect addition to Clash Royale.
So
a 4
good.
elixir building that slows down everything it hits, just like the troop version but with a longer range and a slightly slower attack speed. It wouldn't deal crazy damage, but that slow effect, it
faster
would be
attack speed.
brutal
That
against
would be
Swarm.
crazy. Yo, Superstar, add this. And when it dies, it's like the no, that'd be too broken. Actually, maybe not. When it dies, you know, like the snow golem when it dies and it has a little splash area.
Fast cycle pushes, and even bridge spam. It's simple, it's smart, and it fits right into the kind of control decks that already rely on the original Ice Wizard. Number 9. Portals. Let's talk about something Clash Royale has never fully embraced. Portals. We've seen a tiny glimpse of teleportation
And in Clash of Clans with their fucking teleport, their relocation spell.
with the Mighty Miner, whose ability lets him shift lanes instantly. But imagine if you could make any troop do that. You place a portal entrance on your side of the arena and instantly warp your troops to the other lane. It would flip Clash Royale on its head. Defensive setups would collapse, splash cards would lose value, whole pushes could be skipped on a single move. Now, sure, that sounds way too broken for a normal card, but as a temporary card or a limited time event, it could be one of the most chaotic, creative, and challenging mechanics we have ever seen. Number 10.
Shit like a portal off the Nintendo, bro.
Bat Potion.
Wii.
We already have Graveyard spawning skeletons, so what if we added a Bat Potion, a spell that spawns bats anywhere on the map? It could work just like Graveyard. Bats spawn randomly in a wide area, slowly overwhelming the opponent if they don't react fast enough. But here's the twist. Because they spawn over time, Zap or Snowball wouldn't be as effective as they are against a normal bat drop. That is what makes it useful both offensively as a win condition and defensively to stall pushes or swarm fragile troops. Number 11. Credit card. This might be the most pay-to-win concept of all time. And it is beautifully broken.
Wales be
for just
loving that one.
$15, you can freeze all enemy troops for 10 seconds. Not bad, right? But for $30, every enemy troop on the map suddenly becomes yours. Feeling generous? Drop 45 and you'll generate elixir 7 times faster for the next 15 seconds. But we're not done yet. If you got the cash for a cool $100, you could instantly win the match. And finally, we have a balanced card. By the way, I want to hear from you. If you could design a broken
Real
card
shit, Nerf Miner.
that Supercell would never allow into the game, what would it be called and what would it do? Drop it in the comments. Best one is getting featured in a future video. Number 12. Capper the Card Capper. We all know the pain of going up against over-leveled pay-to-win players. Your card's a level 11, theirs are 14 across
guy
the board.
that ups
It's
the
not a match.
levels.
It's a massacre. But what if there was a solution? Introducing Capper the Card Capper, a card that instantly caps all card levels, yours and your opponent's, to the same neutral level. But here's the twist. It is a neutral card. So if you're the one running level 14 cards, Capper's capping you too. It's fair.
Okay, but what's the point in leveling up your cards then?
It's balanced, and it's petty revenge in card form. Now let me introduce you to a card so insane you couldn't even play it. Number 13. Capital Airship. This card might be the most absurd concept yet. It would cost 15 elixir, making it the most expensive card in Clash Royale history. Once placed, it slowly flies over the arena, destroying everything in its path. Troops, buildings, you name it. And once it reaches the tower, it deletes it. Now you're probably thinking that's broken, but hear me out. It's perfectly balanced, because you can't actually play it. Maybe it would appear in a special boss event where you and your clan have to stop it before it reaches your tower, or maybe it just flies overhead to remind everyone power comes at a cost. And in this case, that cost is everything.
Hold on, Goggins put in work.
Anubis. Imagine
Goggins been putting in work, bro.
a new tanky champion called Anubis, a dark warlock-style unit inspired by games like World of Warcraft. Instead of basic attacks, Anubis uses a special ability called Drain Life, slowly siphoning health from enemy troops. It's not burst damage, it's a slow, steady decay, but here is where it gets interesting. After draining a troop, you can activate his ability to consume the soul of that unit. That gives him a temporary damage and health boost, scaling with the strength of the unit that he devoured. Of course, we already have a few healing mechanics in the game, so Anubis might feel too strong without the right counters, but if you think he's busted, wait until you meet a flower that literally just eats your troops.
Bam, 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 bam. Bam, bam. Bam, bam.
Number 15. Dark Wizard. The Dark Wizard would be a powerful new addition to the wizard family, and he brings a twist. Instead of hurling fire or electricity, he throws a dark orb of energy that bounces between enemy troops, similar to the Electro Spirit. But unlike Electro Spirit, this orb doesn't just stun, it deals serious damage with every bounce. Think of it as a mix between Electro Spirit, Magic Archer, and Wizard. Splash damage meets chain reaction. This would make the Dark Wizard especially deadly against swarm troops, but also a strong support
like Goggins? Oh no, but they're singles.
against medium health pushes. And on top of that, his mystic appearance is easily one of the coolest
Who is
designs
next to him?
yet. Elegant, dangerous, and just a
what is
little bit
Chomper
cursed.
doing, bro?
Exactly what the wizard family needed. This isn't in the script, but plus, it's also pretty lore-friendly. The Void spell was created when a bunch of wizards came together and fused their magic, so what if a wizard mastered the Void?
Their magic must be pretty dog shit, chat, because that card's ours.
Number 16. Chomper, a vicious jungle flower that is more than just a decoration. This card would work as a temporary building, hiding in plain sight until enemy troops get a little too close. Then, it lunges forward and instantly devours the first troop that enters its range. It's part trap, part building,
I've low-key got my fucking Johnson on my table, not gonna lie.
and fully terrifying. The Chomper isn't here to tank, it's here to eat. Number 17. Raptor Riders, an epic card that brings pure prehistoric chaos to the arena. This 5 elixir troop spawns 3 raptors, each ridden by either a goblin or a barbarian straight out of the Stone Age. We already have a goblin drill, a goblin machine, so why not a goblin raptor cavalry? They're lightning fast, only targeting ground units,
That
and
is actually pretty sick. Nah, Supercell. Add this.
deploy with a slight 2-second delay, giving your opponent just enough time to panic. And admit it, prehistoric goblins riding dinosaurs, that is peak Clash Royale energy. Number 18. The Hypnotist. Imagine a legendary card that doesn't attack. It hypnotizes. The
Oh my
Hypnotist
god, Plants vs. Zombies mushroom.
would swing a glowing spiral and temporarily turn enemy troops against their own team, making them fight for you. But here's the catch. If the Hypnotist takes any damage at all, even a Spear Goblin poke, the spell breaks, and everything resets. He'd cost 5 elixir, have very low HP, and work best from behind your towers or with strong protection. The bigger the enemy troop, the longer it stays hypnotized. Number 19. Evolver Roughs. Imagine a card you could place on the battlefield, and it would evolve the nearest troop. That is what Evolver Roughs would do, a support-style card that instantly grants evolution status to one of your troops, even if it's not in your Evo slot. So yes, you could literally evolve a Mega Knight mid-match. One card, owning all evolutions. Technically, yeah, but to
What would be the point of buying evolutions?
keep things balanced, it would only work on evolutions you actually own.
Oh,
So if you
okay.
only have Evo Archers unlocked, that's the only evolution it can trigger. You wouldn't need to equip the Evo before the match, but you'd still need to own it to access it. This makes Evolver Roughs a flexible but fair card, a one-time power spike with high strategic value. Number 20. Double Cannon. As the name suggests, the Double Cannon is exactly what it sounds like, a cannon but doubled. Twice the barrels, 4 shots at once, but there's a catch. It costs 5 elixir. That's a big investment for a ground-only building with no splash and no air coverage. So the question is, would people actually use it? Kinda hard to say. One thing is for sure though, with that design, that firepower, and that name, the double cannon would be aesthetically unstoppable. But up next, a champion that doesn't just slow your push. She
champion?
brings an entire winter storm to the
Wait, chat,
arena.
listen. Oh, I farted. My bad.
21. The Ice Queen. The Ice Queen is a champion concept that could bring a
She's kinda
completely
bad,
new
though.
twist to control-based decks in Clash Royale. Armed with a frost-imbued staff, she's a single-target ranged attacker who slows down enemies with every hit, and eventually freezes them completely. So here's how it would work. After 5 consecutive attacks on the same unit, that enemy is frozen for 2 seconds, and to make it even more satisfying, the target gradually glows bluer as they get closer to being frozen. She targets air and ground, has medium speed, 5
I wouldn't say 5 shots. I mean, depending on the hit speed, because that'd be broken.
0.5 range, and some solid DPS. But her real strength, her ability, Deep Freeze. When activated, she sends out a swirling snowstorm that freezes enemies up close and slows others further away. Basically, you freeze anyone near you, you slow anyone trying to run, and punish tight pushes with full control. Just don't get her too worked up, or she might just unleash a winter you can't survive. Number 22. Berserker Hut. Let's be honest here, it's time to finally
Same guy who cracked Evo Berserker, bro.
retire that dusty old barbarian hut, the most broken building in Clash Royale history, and replace it with something far more fun. The Berserker Hut. This new spawner would summon, you guessed it, berserkers. But
Chat, Brielle loving this one. Chat, Brielle's gonna make it himself.
the real question is, how many?
probably
and
already
how
cracked that
often?
berserker,
Well, option
bro.
1 would be 3 berserkers every 14 seconds. Sounds cool, but let's be real, probably
Oh my God.
too overwhelming.
Torta
Option
Hut.
2 is 1
Chat,
berserker
Torta
every
Hut.
4 seconds. More controlled, but might be too slow to apply real pressure. And then there is that juicy sweet spot. 2 berserkers every 9 seconds. That gives you a solid balance of tempo and threat, enough to punish passivity, but also manageable for your opponent. The berserkers themselves would be fast, aggressive, and hit like a truck, kinda like a mini rage barbarian with less health and more attitude. If tuned right, the berserker hut could be the next bridge pressure monster in Clash Royale. Number 23. Expo Tower Troop. As the name
What?
suggests, it's based on the
Oh,
Expo, so
shit. How would that work? Nah, chat, this is literally just the Dagger Duchess. Because the Expo needs Dark Elixir to function, it would just run out. So it's just
well,
Dagger Duchess.
obviously,
Watch.
it's got range.
Watch.
We're talking some serious range, longer than
Oh,
a princess
longer
tower.
range.
Imagine a tower troop that could snipe an enemy Expo at the bridge, or take out a mortar or princess. Sounds broken, right? Well, not so fast. To make this balanced, it would have extremely low DPS. Think of it as a map control tool, kind of like a mortar with 0 splash and defensive-only utility.
Yeah, I'll
It
fuck with
wouldn't
that.
win
I'll
you the
fuck with
game
this.
by itself, but it could be the perfect support for siege players, spellbait, or decks that love to stall and chip.
6,
Number
7,
24.
oh, sorry.
Evo Magic Archer. The evolved Magic Archer might just break every geometry-based brain in Clash Royale. His normal form already rewards perfect placement and clean lineups, but his Evo form, it could take that to a whole new level. Imagine this, boundary bounce.
That's what
His
I was- that's
arrows
what I was
don't
thinking.
stop at the edge of the arena. They bounce off the boundary walls and continue in the opposite direction, potentially hitting troops on the other side. Or,
that's
you know what,
sick.
maybe a double shot. Every attack fires 2 arrows in a spread, doubling his damage output and making it nearly impossible to dodge his angles.
that's
Or
like
my
some
personal
that's like some
favorite, a
prime Evo
180-degree
Goggins shit.
ricochet. After hitting an enemy troop, the arrow bounces back in a perfect arc, hitting everything behind him. It's part offense, part defense, and 100% chaos. Number 25. Evo Dark Prince. The Dark Prince has always been one of my favorite cards in Clash Royale. He's got everything. Splash damage, a shield to tank spells, decent mobility, and solid versatility on both offense and defense. But even with all of that, I still feel like he deserves a bit more love. So, let's evolve him. Concept 1. He gets spawn damage, slamming the ground when deployed like a mini Mega Knight. It would give him way more value on defense. Concept 2. He's invisible until his first attack, letting him sneak past early responses and surprise
Fuck no. Fuck no. Fuck no. Let's not do that. Never say this again.
your opponent with that iconic charge. Concept 3, he spawns guards on death, turning him into a 2-phase defensive
What?
machine. Concept 4, he gains a Mega Knight style jump with
Yeah.
slower attacks but massive burst damage. Sounds balanced,
That's
right?
better.
Jokes aside, my favorite idea is this. His shield regenerates after taking damage, kind of like a cooldown based healing mechanic. It wouldn't make him immortal, but it would make him reliable. The Evo Dark
that's
Prince
sick.
wouldn't
Do
just
that.
hit harder,
So
he'd
add
stick
that.
around longer and maybe earn his place as a top tier control card. Number 24, the Flag
Flag
Bearer.
Bearer.
A brand new champion concept unlike anything Clash Royale has ever seen. He's not the strongest, not the fastest,
What does he
and
do?
definitely
What
not
does he
flashy, but he's one of the most important troops on the battlefield. Why? Well, because he doesn't just fight, he captures territory. For 5 elixir, the Flag Bearer walks into
Oh, that's not. Credit card. I will give money. I will give money.
battle with long melee
This is
range,
such a good
decent splash
idea.
damage, and a solid health pool. But his real power is in his ability. For 3 elixir, he can plant a flag into the ground, claiming
even
a
have the health
5x4 tile zone for his team. That zone becomes a no-go zone for enemy buildings, and only troops costing less than 5 elixir
Oh,
can even enter
this
it.
is
The
bang-
flag
no,
stays
this is
active
banger.
until it's
Banger.
destroyed or its 12-second timer runs out, and while it's up, it can change the entire flow of the match. He may not look like much, but one day the king will be proud of him.
Yeah.
Number 27. Minigames.
Minigames.
Okay, this next batch of ideas isn't really about cards, it's
Yeah.
about entire game modes. And all of them come from one insanely creative fan. Mehmet SK, so a
Shout out to
huge
this
shout
guy.
out to him. Let's start with one of the coolest ones, Walnut Bowling Mode, a Plants vs. Zombies style arcade
Yeah,
mode
I
where you
get
drop
it.
logs, tornadoes, and other spells to stop waves of
Now do
incoming
it
enemies.
goblins,
No
though.
towers,
Goblins
no
would be
troops,
better.
just spell timing and placement. It would completely flip the Clash Royale formula, turning it into something chaotic, casual, and genuinely fun to grind. Perfect for mobile, perfect for short sessions, and way more fun than Clan Wars 2 ever was. No sign of
What's
it happening
Clan Wars
anytime
2?
soon, but man,
I don't know
we
what
can
that is.
dream. Tower Defense Mode. This one is a full-on tower defense crossover. You'd place units like archers, magic archer, or dark
No, but they
goblin
do it with elixir. That would be way better.
on preset tiles, upgrade them each round, and try to survive endless waves of enemies.
Goggins!
Imagine Bloons TD, but every monkey is a Clash troop. You'd have to manage elixir, draft upgrades, and build your defenses.
Sorry,
Every
fucking
monkey
what?
is a Clash troop.
$10? Yeah, scrap this idea, G.
You'd have to manage elixir, draft upgrades, and build your defenses smart. It wouldn't affect ladder, trophies, or ranked, of course, but it would bring so much replay value
Shaz, I
and
got a
daily
hemorrhoid on my
engagement,
ass.
especially for strategy fans. Let's be
Or
real,
a
this would have been a
pimple, I
better
don't know.
use of dev time than Clan Wars 2 by a mile.
I don't really know what a hemorrhoid is. I think it's just like a pimple on your ass, right? I don't know if I got one.
Survival mode. Now this one is just kinda crazy. Think Vampire Survivors, but with some Clash Royale style units. You start as a single champion like Archer Queen or Golden Knight and try to survive wave after wave of enemy swarms. Each round you get upgrades, splash damage, faster speed, passive spawns, stronger abilities. It's chaotic, it's addicting, and it's the kind of game mode that players would log in for every single day. Honestly, this might be the most exciting fan concept in this entire video. I don't know about you, but on Steam I've got a couple hundred hours on Vampire Survivors. I'm not proud of it, but it's a fun game.
You
Up
good,
next,
twin.
Age of War mode. Remember the classic browser game Age of War?
No.
If you don't,
Oh,
then
wait, I
man,
know this. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Man, I
yeah.
feel old. Now, picture that, but with Clash Royale. 2 players, or 1 player
Someone did
versus
a
a bot, start in the
remaster.
early arena stages and gradually evolve, earning spells, upgrades, and stronger units over time. It's not a match, it's a
Stick War
full-scale
Legacy.
battle of progression. Simple, nostalgic, and ridiculously satisfying. I'd play this mode for hours, and I know I'm not alone. Finally, Clash Royale Punch-Out. Okay, this one is just hilarious.
This
A
one's
one-on-one
sick.
fighting mode where you literally go
Oh.
hand-to-hand with enemy troops.
Dus,
You
dus,
pick a
dus,
champion and go
dus,
up against a
dus.
mini P.E.K.K.A, Knight, or Goblin. Punches,
Oh my
dodges, and
God.
KOs, just like a Clash Royale
One,
version
two,
of Punch-Out. Is
left,
it serious?
right,
Not at all.
uppercut.
But is it content gold? Absolutely. Number 28, the Water Spirit. This 2 elixir may look cute, but don't underestimate it. When it jumps on enemies, it creates a mini tidal wave that does area damage, knocks troops back, and leaves behind a
What?
slippery floor. Tidal wave that does area damage, knocks troops back,
You see the fucking damage.
and
that
leaves
shit
behind a
did.
slippery floor
How much
that slows
elixir?
enemies down. Think of it as a hybrid between Electro Spirit and Ice Spirit, but
No.
with persistent battlefield impact.
That is
The
damage.
knockback can disrupt bridge pushes, the slow zone buys you time, and the splash damage is great for swarm control. And yes, it even has potential for King Tower activations, just like the Electro Spirit. The Water Spirit wouldn't be meta-breaking, but it would be incredibly satisfying in the right hands. Fast, disruptive, and a little slippery. This spirit would make a splash in any control or cycle deck. Number 29, Samurai.
Samurai.
A 4 elixir ground only unit with a unique twist. You don't level him up with gold. You level him up with gems. The samurai doesn't attack air, but makes up for it with a passive ability. Every few seconds, he deflects incoming damage, projectiles, melee hits, or even tower shots. He's not flashy, he's not unstoppable, but he's fair. And his gem-only upgrade path makes him one of the most unique risk-reward concepts in Clash Royale history. Would it be pay to win?
Yes.
Probably. Would it break the
Wales
game?
loving
Not
that.
really, but
But
would
hey,
everyone
that
talk
concept, I'll
about
fuck
it?
with that.
Absolutely. Number 30, Clash Royale versus StarCraft. Now, this isn't a card idea, it's kind of something even better. This fan-made Clash Royale versus StarCraft animation by Mehmet SK shows us a version of the game that doesn't exist, but absolutely should. No trophies, no sweaty ladder decks, just chaos, fun, and creativity. You've got enemy waves, tile-based deployment, boss units, and fast-paced action that feels like Bloons Tower Defense, Vampire Survivors, or Clash Mini, but inside Clash Royale's engine. And that's the crazy part, because none of that is actually in Clash Royale right now. No tower defense mode, no PvE survival, no creative side
We
content
did just get whatever the fuck the new mode is called.
break up the ladder grind. And yet, watching this video, it genuinely feels like something we would actually play, something that would make logging in daily fun again. This stuff wouldn't even touch ranked, because they would absolutely skyrocket player engagement, YouTube content, and casual appeal. Instead of letting those creative ideas live only in fan videos, bring them
look at
to
the
life.
freeze on it,
Clash
that's
Royale
sick.
desperately needs something fresh.
Oh,
this
and then
kinda
you take up space.
mode would probably be the perfect fix. Seriously, a massive shout out to Mehmet SK for showing us what is possible, because this is the kind of Clash Royale we all wish existed. Number 31, the Monk Tower, a building that doesn't shoot. It reflects. Inspired by the Monk's signature ability, this epic building punishes aggression by turning your opponent's firepower against them. Every projectile, arrows, rockets, expos, even sparky blasts get reflected right back at the attacker. It doesn't deal damage, it just returns it. The Monk Tower isn't here to stop your push, it's here to make you regret launching it in the first place. But to balance that out, the Monk Tower probably has low HP and zero effect on melee units, making it vulnerable if you get in close. Still, this tower would be a nightmare. And you know what else would be a nightmare if you didn't watch this next video, where I cover the full history of the Monk and how—
I'm sorry. Maybe next time. Boys, sub to Octo, sub to Mega Graphics, sub to me, follow, subscribe, all that shit. I hope you boys had a good day. Hope you women have a good day, you know what I mean? Hope you enjoyed the vid. Peace.